Okay, I am hoping this recording works. All right, so this is the quick instructional video about how to identify the correct best fit line. All right, so um, with scatter plots, if you want to make calculations, you want to use a linear model or a line, a best fit line, basically, so that you can make calculations. If you recall, the formula for a best fit line or a line, any line, is y equals mx plus b. Slope, y-intercept are the two things that you'll probably look for in the next video, and it also includes our variables y and x. Now, best fit lines basically are, you would say, if you look here, best fit, oh my gosh, my handwriting. Basically, best fit lines are like a good, a way, like a good model, a good guess um, that you can use to calculate. Like it's a way to make good guesses. I am struggling with this writing pen here today. So a best fit line is a way to make a good guess. Good guess using a mathematical model. So in order to be a good best fit line, or like you want to be able to represent the data the best way possible. And so you want to have the line fit the data, like match the data, follow the data in a way that makes the most sense, right? So if you look at this graph or all these scatter plots here, they're all the same ones, right? That's all about popcorn sales. We're comparing price and numbers sold, right, for all of them. It's all the same stuff. But if you notice here, I'm gonna highlight the best fit line in yellow in each of them. The way you draw the line, the way you put the line, it really helps you make a better guess if it's a better fit. So A, C, and D are all wrong because they don't fit these three criteria. So what I mean by criteria is that for every best fit line, it should have these three things. One, it should go through the middle of the data. Two, it should have about an equal amount of data points on either side. And three, it should follow the trend. Trend meaning, is it positive, is it negative, or no correlation? If there's no correlation, actually there is no best fit line. In that case, there wouldn't be a trend or something to model anyway. So it's either going to be positive or negative. So you can probably already tell if you're talking about if there's a bunch of data points and we're trying to see if like you want to create a line where you can make the best guess, you want to make sure it matches the data. So A, for instance, is wrong if you look at the graph for A, because the line is just horizontal, right? And you notice that the data points are moving in a negative trend. So you want your line to be negative, basically. Now, the other thing is this: you if you just look at this graph, we know that it's cutting through the middle of the data, so it kind of follows number one. And it also follows number two because like it cuts through the middle of the data and there's equal number of points on either side, right? Like on the top, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the bottom, there's like 6. So they're around the same. So you might think, actually, like, why is this wrong? It's because it doesn't follow number 3. It doesn't follow the trend. It's not negative. That's why it's wrong. If you look at C, for example, this one, you might think, okay, like this one just, it is negative. So maybe this one's correct. But it's actually wrong because it doesn't go through the middle of the data. So what you want to do is whenever you look at a scatter plot and the best fit line, I want you to go through this check boxes. Think of 1 through 3 as like a checkbox. And you want to check if it has all 3 components, because then only then is it a good best fit. Number D, letter D is wrong because it doesn't really cut through the middle of the data again. So it doesn't go through, it doesn't have number 1. That's why it's wrong. So if you look at B, which is we know is correct, we can look at this and be like, okay, like why is this correct? Because 1, does it go through the middle of the data? Yes, it cuts through the middle of the data. So I would give it a check mark. Does it have about an equal amount of data points on either side? Yeah. If I look here, you know, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. So yes, it has about an equal amount of data points on either side. So that's also a check mark. And then finally, does it follow the trend? The data points between the price and the number sold for popcorn is negative. And is this line negative? Yeah, it's negative now. So in this regard, I know that this graph is the correct one. So this is really important because in our QPA, I will be asking you to pick a graph that has the correct best fit line, and I want you guys to explain it. So what I need you to do is actually explain why it's correct using these 3 reasons that I listed out, right? So as a summary, every best fit line is a line, and it should go through the middle of the data points. It should have about an equal amount of data points on either side, and it should follow the trend. That's really important. If it follows those 3 things, then it's the correct best fit line. And if it doesn't, it means it's wrong. So it has to meet all 3 criteria. So keep that in mind as you go about your problems. Once again, best fit line is a line that we use to calculate based on the data. We want to make a good guess, so we need to find a line that best represents the data or the trend of the data. And that's why it's really important that it cuts through the middle, because then and only then would we be able to make a good guess using this line. Okay? Well, hopefully math wasn't impossibly easy. Let me know if you have any questions about this. Yeah, have a good one.